He was 16 and completely alone. The trail had simply vanished, swallowed by a wall of Amazon undergrowth, so dense it looked like a green curtain dropped across the path. Behind him, the way back had already closed. Around him, every direction looked identical. No food, no compass, no way to call for help. And the light was fading. This is the true story of how one teenager survived 26 days alone in the Amazon, on wild fruit, rainwater, and an unbreakable belief that someone was coming. Felipe Souza grew up in Santarém, Pará State, a river city where the Tapajós meets the Amazon. He was 16, football mad, quietly devoted to his mother, Dona Celia, and possessed of the fearlessness that belongs only to teenagers who have never yet been seriously frightened. In March 2001, Felipe joined his uncle on a work trip into a remote agricultural region outside Santarém. His uncle was surveying land. Felipe came for the experience. He packed a small backpack, water, food for the day, a penknife his father had given him. The plan was simple. Felipe would walk a nearby trail that looped back to their truck. 2 hours maximal. Back by midday. His mother hugged him properly before he left, not the distracted kind, a real one. She thought nothing of it at the time. Little did anyone know, by afternoon, Felipe would be the most searched for person in Pará State. The trail loop was not a loop. After 40 minutes, the path began narrowing. Felipe told himself it would widen. It did not. When he turned back, the undergrowth had subtly redirected him, and the path he followed no longer looked like the one he remembered. He emerged into a clearing he had never seen. He climbed the tallest tree at the clearing's edge, pulled himself up through the branches until he could see over the canopy. More jungle, every direction. No road, no smoke, no structure anywhere. He climbed down and made the decision rescue workers would later call his most important. He stayed. He did not panic and run. He sat in the clearing, finished his water, ate what remained of his food, and waited. His uncle searched until dark, organized a search party, made calls through the night. Felipe waited through the first night without fire or shelter. When the rain came at 2 a.m, the sudden total Amazon rain that falls like a wall, he pressed himself against a tree and shook until dawn. Nobody came on day 2. Nobody came on day 3. On day 4, he made short, exploratory loops outward, always returning to his marked tree. He found a stream. On day 5, a fig tree heavy with pale fruit. These two things kept him alive for 3 weeks. The stream was dark, Amazonian black water. Acidic but safe enough. He drank without hesitation by day 5. No choice. The fig tree was enormous, roots cascading like frozen waterfalls, loaded with small, pale fruit. He ate carefully at first, watching for any reaction. Nothing bad happened. He ate more. He would eat figs twice daily for the next 18 days. A routine emerged. Wake at first light, drink, eat, shelter through midday heat, explore in late afternoon, return before dark. Build a fire. After 3 failed attempts, he coaxed a flame from sparks and dry bark on day 5. On day 8, a bushmaster, 2 meters of the most venomous snake in the Americas, was coiled at the base of his sleeping tree. Felipe froze. 20 minutes. The snake eventually uncoiled and disappeared. He moved camp immediately and cut new markings. By day 10, his clothes were loose, his legs weak, his arms a continuous landscape of insect welts. He talked to his mother out loud beside the stream, told her he was careful, told her he would be home. He believed it completely. That belief held him upright, the way a spine holds a body, invisibly and entirely. On day 14, he heard a helicopter. He ran to the nearest clearing and waved his backpack until his shoulders failed. The helicopter passed without turning. He sat in the clearing and cried, not from despair, but from the specific agony of being almost seen. Then he went back to the fig tree and ate. And the next morning he got up. By day 18, the figs were thinning. He expanded his range and found wild berries. Testing cautiously. One batch made him violently ill for a day and a half, shaking in the mud beside the stream, unable to move. He recovered. He did not eat those berries again. Day 22 brought 3 days of continuous rain that drowned his fire and made sleep impossible. He huddled under a palm frond shelter and told himself that rain was just weather and weather always ended. It ended on day 25. That morning, collecting water, Felipe noticed something across the stream, a machete cut on a tree trunk. Fresh. Not his. He crossed and found another cut 3 meters further. Then another. Someone had been through here within days. He followed the cuts for 2 hours, calling out every few minutes, his voice rough from weeks of disuse. Then he smelled it. Cooking smoke. Real fire. Real food. Somewhere ahead. He pushed through the last undergrowth, calling continuously, not caring how desperate he sounded. A woman gathering firewood at the edge of a small farming settlement heard him first. She called her husband. Together they pushed to the tree line and found him. Felipe Sousa. 16 years old. 26 days in the Amazon. 14 kilograms lighter. Clothes in pieces, feet bare and hardened, since his trainers disintegrated on day 12. Arms mapped with bites and cuts. Standing upright. Eyes completely clear. He said, "Can I use your telephone? My mother is waiting." They fed him and drove him to him. Oh, the nearest town. The call reached Santarém. Within the hour, Dona Celia, who had not slept properly in 26 days, answered and heard his voice. She said nothing for a long time. She just held the phone and breathed. Felipe spent a week in hospital. Intestinal issues, malnutrition, infected bites. He recovered fully, returned to school the following month. His friends said he was quieter, more careful with words, slower to speak, faster to listen. His mother said he never complained about food again. 26 days, a penknife, a fig tree, a stream, and the belief that his mother was looking because she was. Felipe is in his late 30s now. He speaks about those weeks matter-of-factly, the way people carry enormous things lightly. He said once, "I was never lost. I just didn't know exactly where I was." Those are different things. If this story moved you, hit like and subscribe to WW Miracles for more real survival stories from around the world. Comment below, which impossible survival story do you want to see next?